Welcome to Delaware Live Weekly. I'm Glenn Frazier, and my co-host tonight are Benny Mitchell to my left, and a little bit further left is Mike Lang, as we're sitting in for Nick Alessandrini and Pat Gariantes. And normally this is the part of the show where I would say it's time now to welcome in Benny and Glenn.
Yes,
right?
I guess we can welcome ourselves in.
Yeah, let's do that.
We do want to wish Nick and Pat well. A little bit of close contact, so
right.
Can't leave. So hopefully that COVID test will turn out negative for him. And we are thinking about you guys and look forward to seeing you next week.
Mike, how's it going with you, buddy?
It's good to be back. You know, a couple rounds of golf last week. It's a welcome break, but I'm glad to be back here in Dover.
And usually you have at least Jason alongside of you or somebody else. You got the whole table to yourself over there.
Well, I'm a growing boy, so I need the whole table.
Okay. Well, we got a real good show for you here tonight from Dover Buffalo Wild Wings. We have the coaches from both Dover and Caesar Rodney and a few of their players as they prepare for this Saturday's Civil War rivalry between the two. Kickoff 11 o'clock Saturday morning from Ryder Stadium. The Central Delaware crew will have that game for you live. Also, we'll break down the Week 4 football schedule, including some big district games in all three classifications, plus the 1A, 2A, and 3A top fives coming up later in the show. And we'll wrap it all up with our top plays of the week coming up a little bit later. Well, let's take a look and recap the games that we did last week. Let's begin with the Smyrna Caesar Rodney game, which was the Central Cruz game at Smyrna High, and things got started early in the ball game. Back to punt, and Brandon West blocks a Ryder punt, and that gets things going for Caesar Rodney. There's the block right there, recovered by the Riders, but they couldn't make the first down yardage. So Smyrna took over with a short field, and that led to our next highlight, which was a Cameron Edge 1-yard run on a read option. Big hole for Cameron Edge, so he faked it to Wayne Knight. Then Smyrna's explosiveness came into play. It was only 8-0 at the end of one quarter, but here he hits Wayne Knight in stride for a 50-yard touchdown play, as Smyrna would come up with some big plays in the second quarter. All the two-point conversion runs were good, run in by Wayne Knight. Next is a sack by Cole Moyer of Smyrna. He sacks Moore from Caesar Rodney. And following that, the next highlight, it took the Eagles just one play to score after that turnover, a 60. We might see that one a little bit later on in the show tonight. And the final highlight from the game is a defensive turnover as Cole Moore.
You guys see quite a bit of Smyrna this year.
Yeah.
And are we going to see a defensive battle in my game this week with Sussex Central? They're showing a little bit of defense there out of the Smyrna Eagles. What do we expect coming into this week?
But those two have had some really great battles the last couple of years, as you well know, Benny. Had last year alone 2 tight games, and the last one was in the semifinals, and Sussex Central went on to win the title. So far this year, Smyrna's had a little trouble running the football, especially in the first half of ball games. Middletown shut him down the whole game.
That's my question coming.
Yeah, and CR shut him down in the first half. So I think it's going to be important that they can establish some kind of run in the ball game with Wayne Knight and not just rely on the edge in the passing game. Sussex Central's the opposite. They like to run the ball a lot with a wing T.
Yeah, Sussex. A lot of people don't realize since Smyrna came to the Henlopen North, Sussex Central and Smyrna are 7-7 in those games.
Yeah.
And since Mike Judy has showed up in 2014, matter of fact, that's the year they went down to Georgetown and beat Sussex Central in the Castle with a young man by the name of Nolan Henderson on his third or fourth start at quarterback. And they went down there and won that game. Mike Judy is 3-1 at the Castle. Not many teams can make a living winning in Georgetown, and they've done it so far.
You got that right. All right, let's hit the upstate game last week, and we'll turn to Mike Lang for those highlights as St. Mark's took on the Yellow Jackets in Newark.
All right, Glenn, thanks a lot. We were at the graveyard at St. Mark's. we go. This is real early in the game, second or third play from scrimmage. Chase Padalon with a long pass. He's got Jack Burns. He's inside the 5. Jack thought he scored a touchdown, but they call him down at the 2. No worries. You give it to Donovan Artis. He takes it right in there. 1 minute, 9 seconds in. It's 7-0 Spartans. Newark on their first possession. Here's the pass. Ripped away by Wes Millman. I'm sorry, not Wes Millman. It's ripped away by the Spartans. My team's mixed up there, Glenn. Anyway, Spartans get the pitch to Taj Johnson right here. Around the left side. Nobody touched him. Taj into the end zone. Touchdown. First 3 minutes is 14-0 Spartans. Here's a bright spot for Newark. A handoff to Ellerby, an end around. He's got some room down the sideline. They're not going to get him. Into the end zone he goes. 14-6 after this extra point. Very excited coach up there, clapped right in front of the camera. But we saw the touchdown. The Spartans get it back, and here's the pass to Jabri White. Middle of the second quarter. Touchdown for Jabri. And Spartans just keep rolling here in the graveyard. Good crowd on hand. It was a fun night. Here's Padalano's second touchdown pass. How about Jack Burns? Bounces off 2 defenders down the right sideline, escapes that last tackle into the end zone. And it was all St. Mark's Benny. It was they're looking really good this year.
Right.
And we've had them on a couple of times. Here's a handoff up the middle. That's Donovan Artis again. He goes and scores another touchdown. Artis having a great season. They would tack on one more touchdown and take the big win over Newark. And St. Mark's keeps rolling. They have Conrad this week, again at the graveyard on Friday night. Joey Wright's got some good things going on up there.
Yeah, Class 2A really seems to be the race right now.
Yeah.
Between the teams. I think there's, and we'll talk about it later, 7 undefeated teams in AA. Now that's all going to start changing here as they start playing one another. But we said at the beginning of the year 2A would be the most competitive class in the state, and it's holding up.
Yeah, what we didn't see was the Archmere-Howard game, which I'm thinking, we thought that was going to be a lot closer, and Archmere just really took it to them. But you mentioned it this weekend, Archmere and Friends, a lot of good games. There's still, I think, more running clocks than the football committee had envisioned, but it's good to see some really competitive games. And you mentioned Division II or Class 2 is really, that's the most wide open of the 3 because you have the most teams in there. So you got to finish in the top 4 in your district. However, they came up with all this stuff, but there's some good games going on.
Yeah, Glenn, let's talk about coming up this week. What we got coming up here.
Well, first, we do 3 games in a week, and normally this would be your opportunity to talk about the Sussex County game, which you had a good matchup. Delmar and Milford. What happened?
Well, as I'm driving to Milford, everybody's calling, man. My phone's going off the hook, and being the good person I am, I didn't answer it.
Yeah.
Wish I had, because there was everybody telling me to go home. The game had been postponed to Monday, and Monday came and cancellation. There's no way they can make it up because Delmar didn't play week 1, so there's no open week for these 2 teams. So this hurts Milford because Milford already has the 1 loss to Lake Forest,
right? And
now they might have to win out to get a top 4 spot.
Yeah.
And win out means Caravel, Woodbridge,
and Red Lion. That's coming up next for them.
That's coming up this Friday night.
Yeah. Well, we had some really good performances in week 3. Let's look forward to the games that we have coming up this weekend. And St. George's, fresh off that win at Absenio over the Sal's, will be taking on Appoquinimink Friday night, and that'll be the upstate crew game. Mike, if you want to talk about that one.
Well, what I liked about St. George's, their line just really controlled Sally's, which is unusual, only because Sally's has such a big offensive and defensive line, but St. George's really controlled the line of scrimmage. I mean, the 2 guys on offense, Elijah Alexander, Giovanni Sanchez, and Donovan Brooks, the quarterback, really make things go. I mean, everything revolves around those 3. I believe the game that they lost, Sanchez did not play. They lost to
Dover. Yeah.
And you just saw the way that they just controlled the Sal's. The Sal's offense really never got on track. They were leading 14-13 late. They couldn't stop the kickoff return at the end of the game. It just seemed all discombobulated for the Sal's. Credit to John Wilson and the Hawks. They came to play, and as far as Appo goes, they need, and I haven't seen Appo, I don't know a whole lot about them. They need to find a way to put some points on the board. They're just not scoring at all, and they're going to have to put up probably 3 touchdowns at least if they're going to have a chance against St. George's on
Well,
Friday.
this is a little bit of a crosstown rivalry.
Dover and Caesar Rodney.
Well, I'm talking about Appo and St. George's.
Appo, a little bit of a rivalry. It's still too young for that, and of course Odessa's up and coming. So when their numbers get up, they're probably going to get classed up to 3A. So then you're going to have 4 schools within that Appoquinimink School District boundary that'll be playing against each other. That'll be something. How about your game? You got a huge matchup.
Got a big matchup here. It's like I said, 7-7 in the regular season, but there's that one playoff game between the two. Last year, you had the game, the fade pattern in the back corner. Sussex Central right now, since Smyrna has moved into Division I, Sussex Central leads that series 8-7. I expect another great one on Friday night.
Well, it should be. And then Central Crew, on Saturday morning, we're going to have the Civil War between Dover and Caesar Rodney, a rivalry that began back in 1935. And when we come back, we're going to be joined by our guest. We'll begin with the head coach of the Riders, Dan the Candyman Candeloro, on Delaware Live Weekly.
At Ferris Home Improvements, your family's comfort and safety is always our top priority.
If you call us for your roofing, windows and doors, siding, decks, kitchen, and bathroom needs, you can expect health-screened craftsmen who wear gloves and face masks and follow minimum 6-foot distancing, virtual conferences to discuss project details, job quotes delivered electronically or brought to your door for your review and approval, and our showrooms in Newark and Rehoboth Beach remain open for limited appointments.
We're here together.
Operating with precautions.
To protect our staff.
And our customers.
At Ferris Home Improvements, your family's comfort and safety is always our top priority.
If you call us for your roofing, windows and doors, siding, decks, kitchen, and bathroom needs, you can expect health-screened craftsmen who wear gloves and face masks and follow minimum 6-foot distancing, virtual conferences to discuss project details, job quotes delivered electronically or brought to your door for your review and approval, and our showrooms in Newark and Rehoboth Beach remain open for limited appointments.
We're here together.
Operating with precautions.
To protect our staff.
And our customers.
Your home, your community. It's not just where you live, it's where you belong. At Dover Federal Credit Union, we understand what it means to be local. We started here, and we're not going anywhere. We're as local as it gets, and we like it that way. We're not just a financial institution, we are the local credit union that you can trust. Local people.
Whether you're planning to buy a home in 3 months, 6 months, or even a year, let me walk you through the process from start to finish and get your questions answered. I'm a DHSA lender with down payment assistance programs or grant money. I can help those with less than perfect credit or those working on their credit. I'm also local and always have been. So call 302-563-5599 or visit briansloans.com when you are ready to get started on your road to homeownership. Whether you're planning to buy a
Get the assurance that your HVAC system is what you need with Ambience. Ambience provides you with over 25 years of experience in the heating, cooling, and plumbing industry. The team at Ambience Heating and Air Conditioning provides high-quality residential HVAC installations, maintenance, and repairs in new and older homes in the Delaware, Maryland, Pennsylvania tri-state area. You may not realize it, but half of your energy costs go to heating and cooling. Make sure your energy dollars count and call us today for a free estimate. 302-239-HVAC. 302-239-48.
And welcome back to Delaware Live Sports Weekly. Benny Mitchell with Glenn Frazier. And with us, we have the Caesar Rodney Riders and its head coach Dan Candeloro, and some of the players, Clay Friend, Nate Waite, and Will Anthony. Coach, welcome to the show. I know you've been here before, new for you guys, and glad you could make the short trip over here to Buffalo Wild Wings.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Coach, you know, you and I talked earlier. You played your high school ball at Dickinson High. So when did you actually first know of this rivalry between the two schools?
Back in the early 80s, I came down to Delaware State College. It was college at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And once you hit the Kent County line, it's like CR Dover is the rivalry game, and it probably always will be. It's changed a little bit because these guys are friends and play travel baseball together, football together, and all that good stuff. But it's a game. It doesn't matter, you know, the records when you go in. It doesn't matter, you know, if the team's 0-9, 9-0, what happens on the field, it's just magic. It's just magic.
When you think back of a rivalry like this, and you think back to all the coaches in the history of Caesar Rodney, Joe Perzicki and Tommy Leonard and Schoenwolf and Kovaleski, how proud are you to be carrying on this tradition?
It's an honor. We talk a lot about this game and I guess tradition around it. It's a true honor to follow those guys. They're all legends, and it's just an honor to be part of it.
Clay, I'll start with you. Talking about this rivalry, it's going to be a little weird this year. It's not week 10 Friday night. It's week 4 Saturday morning at 11.
Yeah.
Does that change anything for you? Is it how do you approach the game? Do you approach it any differently?
It does a little bit because it's the atmosphere. Not playing on a Friday night with everyone in the stands, dark, but we're still gonna come out and ball. It's still the same game plan, same mentality.
And Nate, you're going to be on Delaware Live Sports, so it's a big game. It's a rivalry game. It's going to be brought across the internet. How do you? This is your guys' second game on second or third. So are you guys kind of used to it yet, or does that bring more nerves to the game? I know that it's going to be only game going on Saturday morning on our network.
Yeah, I think it makes it more exciting, knowing more people are going to be watching, and it makes me want to play better.
And Will, back to you about the rivalry. A little different now, Saturday afternoon. But you know a lot of these guys. Does that make the rivalry a little more special? That you actually know these people have been friends for a while across the line?
Yeah, we've been playing with them for a long time now, and it'd mean a lot to us, just to go out there and have fun with them one last time our senior year. It's just going to be a great morning to play football. It doesn't matter what time or where it is, as long as we're out there playing and having fun. That's all I really want to do.
Now, Benny, how about one of the really tough, hard-hitting questions?
Yeah.
Like, what kind of music do you guys listen to in the locker room before you go out and play? Is it a separate thing or a team thing?
What's on the top of your playlist?
On top of my playlist is Sosa Chamberlain by Chief Keef. Right. That gets me going.
Look Back, ESTG.
No Flocking, Kodak Black.
Coach?
AC/DC.
Oh, going back to the
black.
80s.
Back in black.
Going back to the 80s. Now, we understand that you and Coach Knapp have a little history.
Yes, sir.
You guys actually know a little bit about your mindset because you coached Little League together.
Yeah, we do.
Back in the day.
Yeah, I got his strategy right in my head. Yep. Throw the ball to first and get it out. No, we've known each other a long time. Good friends, and it's going to be neat to be on the sideline across from him. Obviously, he's a great coach coming from Wesley, dominating D3 all those years. So, obviously Dover's going to come out ready to play. They're well coached all around, and Coach Knapp will have them ready to go.
This is not the 1970s with Mike Mead and Tony Kelsey and 8,000 people hanging from tree limbs. But what does the rivalry mean to you guys these days as far as the community?
Well, I mean, again, Dover CR, both communities back their schools. It's gonna be a fun, electric time. It may not be Kelsey and Mead, but it is Sessoms and it is Brock Connor. So right. There's some other names that are taking their place, and we're pretty excited.
And while we're talking history and talking names, you guys may not remember the Mike Mead from Dover, but you remember the Ron Harmon from Caesar Rodney. And how special is that to be at Caesar Rodney and carry on the legacy of a guy that's currently in the NFL, 2-time Super Bowl champ, to be a part of the same thing that he came through?
It's kind of cool because it just shows you that, like, wherever you're from, you can make it. Even this from Delaware, you can still make it to the NFL. So it just means that you just got to keep grinding.
And anybody else wants to talk about it?
I play DB, so it's real cool just knowing that somebody from the same position as me made it to the NFL. I'm looking to play in college, so it's just like a motivation thing, knowing that anyone can do it.
And we got to remember that not only was the important thing about Ron Harmon, not only was he an NFL player and a Super Bowl champion, he was an academic All-American at Rutgers University. A lot of people kind of skip over that, which may be one of his biggest accolades. So when you talk about playing college football, the whole package. So you got a guy from the wore the blue and gold that achieved that. So.
And I'll say all three of these guys are, they're honor roll kids, they're honor society, they're just great kids, and they're modeling that.
final question for all of you. We're going to bring the Dover coach and his players up, and I noticed when the Dover players came in here to Buffalo Wild Wings, they immediately went right over to your booth, and you started, talking to each other and palling around. There's a lot of that right now. You guys have a history with them, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're all our friends. Like, with social media now, a lot of people are, like, they know each other, talk to each other on the daily. Those are my boys. Like, we just had Firefly this past weekend. We were kicking with them for a little bit, so, it's all love.
Yeah, I used to go to Dover, so I know a lot of people from there. So playing Dover means a lot that I can show, so I can show all the people that used to know me.
I'm just excited to go against the crosstown rivals. I don't know that many people other than the ones I played with on the Raiders, so it'll just be fun to go out and see them again and play with them one last time.
All that ends Saturday morning when you get ready to kick it off. It's no more friends time right then, right?
Yeah. All that friend stuff is over then.
Yeah. Right. So thanks to the Caesar Rodney Riders, Coach Dan Candelora, Will Anthony, Clay Friend, and Nate Waite. Check them out 11 o'clock on Saturday as the Riders and the Senators strap it up again. Next, we'll have the Senators coming on.
Go Raps.
High school athletics is not what it used to be. The sporting goods industry has been disrupted, adding to coach and athletic director daily challenges. BSN Sports stands ready to change the fundamentals of our industry, giving our customers the advantages they need right now. Your dedicated local sales pro is supported with nationwide team service, including sport and category experts. Get the look of D1 colleges and pro teams with our program that streamlines ordering your staff apparel, player gear, and fanwear. Stretch your budget with our fundraising solution. Free and ready in minutes. Our campus branding products are perfect for boosting school and team pride. BSN Sports has the advantages you need right now.
Hi, I'm Scott Kammerer from Sodell Concepts. Today we're at Thompson Island Brewing Company in Rehoboth Beach, Delaware. Come check us out. Located in the Rehoboth Gateway next to Blue Coast Rehoboth, Thompson Island will follow the Sodell tradition of serving beautiful, simple food that will pair perfectly with our fresh homemade beer. Thompson Island is a perfect place to have dinner with your family, enjoy happy hour with friends at the bar, or spend a day in the beer garden playing bocce ball and ping pong. Thompson Island Brewing Company in Rehoboth Beach, Delaware, open 7 days a week.
And welcome back to Buffalo Wild Wings in Dover. I'm Benny Mitchell with Glenn Frazier. And next we have the Dover Senators and got Coach Chip Knapp. And I thought when these two young men walked in, I thought they were your bodyguards. You brought two big boys to the show, Elijah Sessoms and Byron Evans.
They are my bodyguards.
They're big boys.
They are my bodyguards. That's why I brought them. Just in case Coach Candeloro gets out of...
Well, let's start with the history of Coach Candeloro before we get to the important football questions. We understand you already have, a little bit of each other's coaching strategy because you two coached Little League together back in the day.
Oh, yeah. We coached machine pitch. Coach Candeloro's daughter and my son, he was the head coach. I was his assistant. And there was some real intense competition going on. And so I got to see Coach, I got to learn a little bit about his coaching style.
So you'll be a little in his head.
Yeah, I'm in his
Saturday
head
morning.
now, yeah.
Coach, you've been very successful with the Wesley program for a long time, along with Coach Drass, and all of us were sorry to see that program go away. What's the trick from D3 college now to high school football in Delaware?
Well, there's some things you learn in high school. You have a little less time to be with the players. In college, you can have meetings after practice, and in college, there's a lot. In high school, there's a lot of two-way players. College, there's the one-way, and so we could be 2 hours just dealing with offense. And then in a game, I realized when you call the offense over, half of them are playing defense. So those in-game adjustments you're not really able to do them with the offense or the defense. And there's a lot of little things like that go into it. Also, the coaching commitment in college, you're dealing with full-time employees, and you're dealing with coaches that are family people that have a lot of other commitments. So it's just kind of understanding how much you can do and how much practice and what you're actually able to do on a football field when it's all said and done.
Now, Benny was talking about the tough questions, so this might be the hardest one. We asked the Caesar Rodney coach and the players, what music do you listen to before you come out of the locker room on game day?
What's at the top of your list?
Yeah. So, Coach, we're going to start with you now. What's at the top of your list?
Well,
I'm sure you don't listen to what these guys listen to.
Yeah, I mean, I'm forced to do that. I don't have a playlist when I go in there. I'm busy thinking about, the game plan and all that. And so I'd rather have some peace and quiet actually before a game. So that's kind of my style. But I'm sure these guys have some selections here that they.
Start with you.
I listen to Dreams and Nightmares by Meek Mill. I listen to Let's Get Busy by Wad Swervo.
All right.
Now, as a team, do you listen to something to get you riled up to go out, or is it all an individual thing?
Oh, no, something that gets us riled up.
Okay.
Well, let's talk a little bit about this rivalry.
Yeah.
It goes back to 1935. Dover currently leads 36-30 with 4 ties. That's a tight rivalry over that many years. I don't know if you guys are aware of that. And it's been played continuously since 1961. And that's always been Friday night, week 10. This week it's week 4, Saturday morning at 11. Does that feel weird? Does that change anything for you? Talk about, with the new alignment, how it kind of threw your big week 10 game out of whack.
It's kind of weird not playing on week 10, but we still gonna get after it, whether it's Friday night or Saturday morning. We still gonna get after it.
And it gives us an extra day to prepare and just go out and just play.
Now, we were talking earlier with Caesar Rodney. We talked about some of the names that have played in this game. Caesar Rodney, obviously, Deron Harmon. You guys, Mike Mead played in the NFL. I'm not sure how familiar are you with him, but what's it like to go back to a guy from back in the 70s that played big-time college football, played in the NFL, and wore the same Dover name on his chest that you will? What does it feel like to represent people like that as you carry on the tradition into this game?
For us, it just shows that we have big shoes to fill with those guys we got put on for Dover High. That's all.
I feel like we just got to carry the torch that they live for us.
Okay. And now, real important, I'm done with all the serious, fluffy questions. Let's get to the serious meat and potatoes of the show. What's your go-to sauce here at Buffalo Wild Wings?
It's definitely medium. Medium.
I get Asian Zing.
Coach, you have a go-to?
I'm medium. I like a little spicy, not too hot though, but that's my go-to.
And now this will be what, their second time on Delaware Live, a game of the week?
Yes, we did the Hodson game earlier in the year.
Right, so now you get that big win for you guys, and now you get another chance to be like the only game going on. How big is that to bring in more exposure, Coach, for you first, bringing this exposure to your program and to your players to get to go on one of our games in a rivalry?
Yeah, it's great to have 302 Sports and what you guys do. We really appreciate that. I've been around Delaware football for a long time, and I think this is a great thing to happen for just sports in general, and you guys covering what you do. It's great for the kids to give them exposure. It gets more people interested in the Delaware sports, Delaware football, so it's a great thing, and the fact that we get to be on there multiple times is it's definitely a boost for us and people watching.
It's definitely an honor being on there multiple times, and it gives the fans that not able to make the game a chance to watch the game and be able to put on for our fans that not able to be there.
Byron?
Yeah, it's good to have a lot of people being able to watch our games, give us the exposure. It's crazy.
When I first started doing these games broadcasting back in 1979, so I'm an old guy. It was a heated rivalry. I mean, people just hung on tree branches to watch the game, and now over the years things have changed with social media. You guys, I noticed when you came in, you talked to the Caesar Rodney players because you have a connection with them. Talk about that just a little bit.
Well, Caesar Rodney, we got a lot of friends on Caesar Rodney. Those are our boys, so it's just that's how the connection is with them.
A lot of players from Dover and CR, they used to play on Dover CR Raiders, so I feel like we have a connection from our childhood together.
Oh, it sounds good, guys. Final question, Coach. You've been in the area coaching Wesley College. How much do you know about the rivalry, and what does it mean to you, this game?
Well, I tell you, when I first came, I showed up in Delaware in 1989, and right away, early on, I went to the games. You know, Coach Oxford back in the day, and I think I think Mike Mead had just finished playing, and the other thing with this rivalry, I've got to, we like, as a Wesley coach, we've liked both teams. We've had great players from Dover. Most recently, Nick Glover and Alex Nisgoda, Xavier Allen. On the CR side, we've had, most recently, Alice Kemp was a star player for us. Rocky Myers won the Gallardi Trophy.
Blair Newman, I think, played a year, right?
Yep, Blair Newman. Brian Robinson was a two-time All-American from CR. And there's I'm forgetting Demetrius Stevenson, who was a star player who's now working at Dover. So, you see, to me, it's always been the top rivalry in the state. From my perspective, looking at both teams for a long time, and it's exciting to be part of it now.
Well, thanks a lot, guys, for coming out and joining us, and best of luck to you this Saturday and the rest of the season. It's going to be interesting with everybody being in the playoffs.
Yeah, it will be. Yeah, we're all getting ready for the playoffs.
All right, coming up, we're going to have the football rankings when we come back here on Delaware Live Sports Weekly.
High Five Hospitality was founded in 2004 when three guys teamed up to introduce the Buffalo Wild Wings franchise concept to Delaware. They now operate 8 Buffalo Wild Wings, 6 locations throughout Delaware, and 2 locations in Maryland. B-Dubs has weekly and game day specials on their delicious food and beverages. Stop in one of their convenient locations today. The Stone Balloon Ale House features a unique blend of crafted food and an array of spirits, all flavored with a dash of nostalgia. Our culinary mantra is comfort food playfully reimagined, and we prepare seasonal favorites that strive to please the palate and resurface a memory. Limestone Barbecue, from our mouth-watering Texas-style brisket, fall-off-the-bone chicken, and St. Louis ribs. Southern-style sides, mac and cheese, baked beans, cornbread, sweet...
Hi, it's Scott and Lauren from Soto Concepts.
And today we're at Catch 54 in Fenwick Island, Delaware. Catch 54 is committed to serving beautiful, simple coastal cuisine overlooking the bay. House favorites include signature crab cakes, shrimp and grits, our famous 54 burger, all accompanied by a Wine Spectator wine list and a great selection of craft ales and cocktails. Catch 54 offers delicious nightly specials, award-winning waterfront dining views, and the best happy hour in town.
Catch 54 in Fenwick Island, Delaware, open 7 days a week.
See you soon.
Hi, it's Scott and Lauren from Soto Concepts.
And today
2-2. Get the assurance that your HVAC system is what you need with Ambience. Ambience provides you with over 25 years of experience in the heating, cooling, and plumbing industry. The team at Ambience Heating and Air Conditioning provides high-quality residential HVAC installations, maintenance, and repairs in new and older homes in the Delaware, Maryland, Pennsylvania tri-state area. You may not realize it, but half of your energy costs go to heating and cooling. Make sure your energy dollars count and call us today for a free estimate. 302-239-HVAC. 302-239-4822. Get the assurance that your HVAC system is what...
Hi, I'm Scott Kammerer from Soto Concepts. Today we're at Blue Coast Seafood Grill and Raw Bar in Rehoboth Beach, Delaware. Come check us out. Located in the Rehoboth Gateway, Blue Coast features indoor and outdoor dining and serves beautiful, simple food that highlights the flavors of Southern Delaware. With chef-inspired daily specials, an award-winning wine list, and an extensive list of craft cocktails and local beer, Blue Coast is the perfect spot for a night out. Blue Coast Seafood Grill in Rehoboth Beach, Delaware, open 7 days a week year-round for lunch and dinner. See you soon. Hi, I'm
back here at Buffalo Wild Wings, the Dover location. We just got done having the Dover coach, Chip Knapp, and his players. Prior to that, Caesar Rodney. I want to thank both of them again for coming out. And Benny, I've called a lot of these games, but one of my most memorable moments in this series was when Blair Newman from Caesar Rodney wore the jersey number in honor of his good friend Todd Sammons, who died untimely in a car accident in 2004. And those two were real good friends. They played baseball together, and it was just a special moment. And it shows you how, over the years, this rivalry has evolved from a heated rivalry to more of just a more of a friendly rivalry. It's tough when it's on the field, but when it's all said and done, they're all friends.
Right, and a moment like that you can go back to that you remember for many years. It's been a while since we played. So, that kind of thing sticks with people, and what a way to honor your friend and opponent.
Yeah, and what a great touch by Blair Newman to do that in that football game. All right, it's time now to take a look at our top fives. Let's begin with Class A or 1A, and not much movement there. A lot of teams that are undefeated. You see Laurel at the top, followed by St. E's. Indian River, which didn't get to play a game this week with Brandywine. That one got canceled. And then you have Wilmington Charter and St. Andrews. Now, those two play this week. They play on Friday afternoon, right, Mike?
Yeah. And we're streaming from Middletown, so I may have to go watch, I can't believe I'm saying this, Charter and St. Andrews. Should be a good game.
Yeah,
it should be a good matchup.
A battle between 4 and 5. And there's a lot of teams kind of knocking on the door here, not as much as Double A, but in Single A. We've talked from the very beginning how Laurel was the team to chase. Well, St. Elizabeth is putting their name out there. It looks like right now it might be a 2-horse race in Class A between St. Elizabeth and Laurel. That could maybe those two coming. That could be a good state final game.
Yeah, let's talk about Mike Lemon and the job he's done at St. E's. They were, before the coaching change, when they were originally, they were in Class 2.
Right.
And they got moved to Class 1. And the St. E's folks were worried about numbers at the school and how they were going to be able to compete. They have 30, 35 kids on the team. They're competitive. They've got I've seen them twice this year. They're scoring a lot of points. That's a really good team up there, and it's good to see them having success, along with a team like Wilmington Charter, which is 3-0 for the first time, I think, in 11 years. I've seen Charter this year. They're a good team. And they're where they belong in that Class 1. And I think this is where this realignment has really done some good, is to give these teams that, except the Laurel's obviously been good, but to give these teams a chance.
And we talked to Joey Jones. I did early in the season. Joey Jones thought he was going to be into Double A, and they end up in Single A, and that's where you are. That's where you play. But they are a team that they're in Single A because of the conference they played in. They're in the Henny South, and year in and year out, you're playing Del Mar, Woodbridge, Lake Forest, Milford at one point.
Right.
So surviving in the Henny South was a lot of people call it comparable football is like the SEC of Delaware football, because every weekend it's a big game.
Yeah.
So that's how they end up down there. Indian River with a big game on Friday night. They have Seaford.
Yeah.
They're hosting Seaford. Seaford with a big win over Polytech. I still don't think Seaford's been tested yet.
Okay.
This is going to be Seaford's test against Indian River.
Yeah, and we didn't mention Seaford. I'm glad you brought them up. It's good to see them having some success. It's good that all these teams that have really struggled, the numbers seem to be up a little bit, and I think that was the goal. And it's good to see teams that haven't won a lot are finally putting some W's on the board, and Seaford is one of them.
Yeah, so 2 big games in Single A this week. Yeah. Seaford, Indian River, Wilmington Charter, and St. Andrews.
Yeah.
Let's move to Double A.
2A,
We had a lot of interesting stuff happening in Double A this week.
Oh, we sure did. Of course, Woodbridge is right at the top there again, as they again score points in the fourth quarter to get a come-from-behind win over Sussex Tech. That was 27-14. But, hey, I think the big one was, and I don't want to toot my own horn because that was my upset special last week in the picks, but I thought Archmere could play with Howard after getting demolished in the championship game last year. Well, they came out tough, and I never expected that score. 42-8 win over Howard to knock them from number 1.
I had to admit, when I saw your pick come up on Tuesday, I was like, Glenn wants to lose the pick. Who's taking Archmere over Howard? But man, what a call!
Yeah,
and they did. And I think you were at.
I was at the game, and Howard came out and scored on the first drive, and everybody, you just hear it. You hear like, oh, not again, and it turned like that. Chris Albero. Let's talk about Chris Albero. Kid is having himself a year. He plays the quarterback. He plays defensive back. He's their kicker.
Yeah.
11 for 13, 247 yards and 4 touchdowns. He's throwing to guys like Max Ewing, Johnny Kim, and Connor Udovich. He's having himself an all-state type of season. Connor, by the way, committed to in lacrosse, I think, to Rutgers. I'd have to double check that, but they're having a fantastic year up there at Archmere, and they got down by 8. They didn't care. They just turned it on, and they never stopped. So the game got over.
Archmere's got to play Wilmington Friends this weekend.
They do.
Wilmington Friends is undefeated. Could be another good ball game. Maybe a letdown from Archmere a little bit. Who knows?
I just think those kids, they're just not.
No,
they're not going to let it
That
happen.
little Wilmington private school game last week, Tower Hill.
Yeah, how about
Wilmington
that?
Friends, and Wilmington Friends moving to 3-0 with a 28-7 win, and that's another big rivalry series. Over 100 times they played.
103 games, and they're only separated by 1 win. Tower Hill has never trailed in this series, but right now it's Tower Hill 51 wins, Wilmington Friends 50 wins, and there have been a couple of ties.
But I'm going to talk a little bit about that win of Woodbridge down at Sussex Tech. I kind of think Woodbridge escaped from Georgetown last Friday night. Not sure if it was a letdown between 2 big games, between St. Mark's the week before and Delmar coming up on Saturday. Their offense seemed to struggle in the game. They were twice turned back at the 1-yard line. Credit to their defense, specifically Lexton Westcott, with 2 defensive. You don't usually get 2 defensive scores from the same kid.
Right.
He gets the scoop and score from 37 yards out, and then the pick 6 at the end of the game. Class AA is really starting to heat up as we play this out. Like we kind of expected it to be. We've had a number one. The only number one that's been beaten was in Class 2A. Right. And there's people knocking on the door in that top 5. Wilmington Friends, Delaware Military, and Carabao all unbeaten. 7 unbeaten teams in Class A we talked about earlier. That's going to change as we start this intra-district play over the next couple of weeks. And AAA, as we head, they also got some good big games coming up the next couple of weeks. Let's talk about AAA. Big win for St. George's.
Big win for St. George's. It came from behind to beat Slazy. Sally's had a 1-point lead late in the game, and then St. George's came back, Mike.
Well, they ran that kickoff back to the 30. Personal foul, attacked on 15 yards. By this time, I was on my way to St. Mark's to stream that game, but I had the audio from the stream, so I was listening to it, and they just had no answers for Sanchez, and Donovan Brooks played a real smart game.
St. George's has a huge line, both sides of the ball. I saw them against Caesar Rodney, and it was unbelievable how big they are. The quarterback's good, he can run, he can throw. And then, of course, then we've got Giovanni Sanchez in the backfield as well. They've got a lot of weapons. They're a very dangerous team. Now, you'll have their game, the Upstate crew will, Friday night with Apo. The week after, they host the Smyrna Eagles on a Saturday game, and we'll have that one for you too. So look out for St. George's.
We're going to be seeing a lot of the Hawks over the next couple of weeks. They're fun to watch. The one thing you have to be careful about it for St. George's is they rely a lot on Sanchez and Brooks and Alexander. Right. They need to stay healthy, and most teams do. But for them, I think it's especially important that they keep those guys on 2 feet because they've got a lot of big games, like you mentioned, and they have the St. George's and Salesianum, the only 2 teams, I believe, that are playing an entirely in-state schedule this year.
Yeah, we put it up on the graphic up there. In AA, Archmere moves to number 1. Howard drops to 2. DMA, Woodbridge, St. Mark's all hold at 3, 4, and 5. AAA, a little bit of a change here, Glenn. We with Jason, we talked about it through text messages. How do we go with the big win over St. George's? And here's how it all rolled out. So Middletown State's number 1, Smyrna number 2. Dover moves from number 5 to number 3. St. George's moves from 4, or from out of the ranking, or 5 to 4. Sally's drops to 5. Central leaves the rankings due to their loss to Sally's, and then St. George's beating them.
They're just on the outside looking in. Yeah. I would have them at number 6.
They're not knocking on the door. They're turning the handle.
Yeah, and you got that big game coming up. To me, I would say that's number 6 right now against number 2, and that game coming up Friday night.
There's some key games coming up. Intra-district football is about to start, and we'll have a lot of them here on Delaware Live Sports. When we come back, a little bit more football talk. because we're going to talk about the AAA showdown Friday night with Sussex Central and the Smyrna Eagles. We'll be right back.
The best part about great people is great people leads to quality of care, and our physical therapists really lead that mission and drive that. We want to have the opportunity to serve as much of our communities as possible with the highest level of excellence.
Clinical excellence really means being a leader in the profession and in the community, giving the patients the best possible care, and here at Premier, that is really what our mission is.
It all starts with wanting to help people. If you're helping people achieve whatever they want to, whether it's to get back on the sports field, to get back to work, or get back to whatever they need to do in their regular lives, that's really what underlies everything.
When patients come in here, they really truly do feel like part of our family. We're always involved directly with our patients and giving individualized care.
I come in and I may be broken down, bent over, but when I'm done my therapy, I'm feeling good to know that you're listening and you're finding a way to help me. For me, that's huge.
You know, we want to help everybody we come into contact with. That's where we kind of get our reward as clinicians and therapists, is to see them achieve their goal and get back to, you know, what they wanted to. It's certainly been very rewarding to see how many people we can help as we've grown.
Our patients come in here and they really put a lot of trust in us to get them back to doing the things that they can't do. When you can't do those things, at the end of the day, your life is not fulfilled.
You may have tried physical therapy,
but have you tried Premier?
Welcome back to Buffalo Wild Wings here in Dover, Delaware. There were a lot of district matchups that could go a long way to see who makes the state tournament in Class A and 2A. Let's take a look at 2A matchups first. Woodbridge at Delmar for Delmar's homecoming game this Saturday. Sussex Tech at Lake. That ought to be a great matchup there, but how about Milford? I think this is going to be a big game for Milford with Red Lion coming down to visit.
I think Milford is now backs against the wall. Losing the game to Lake Forest, and then the no contest against Delmar. Right. That's a win they can't get now. You need, 4 wins probably to get to when you're getting your playoffs. 4, yeah. So this starts it. Playoffs start Friday night for Milford.
And Glenn, Red Lion, just sorry to interrupt.
That's
Red
okay.
Lion, the 1-point loss to St. Mark's, which is not a district game, but it was a loss. And then I believe they lost
Delmar.
to Caravel.
Right.
And Delmar.
Right.
Red Lion, they need wins, like you said. Milford need wins. So you got 2 teams going at it that they really can't afford to lose anymore. Red Lion's got some talent, but they're coming down this way to play. Milford's going to be a tough.
And how about Delmar? The Lions Cup trophy game, right? And they throw a homecoming at Woodbridge. Usually you pick your safe game for homecoming. Delmar says, bring it on. Yeah. We're going homecoming Saturday, 1:30.
And let's not forget about the big 2A game upstate. We already kind of alluded to it. Archmere at Wilmington Friends, 2 unbeaten teams. Archmere coming off that big win over Howard, and Wilmington Friends, their rivalry win over Tower Hill. That should be a good one, too.
Yeah, I'm going to try to stop by over at Tattersall Field in Albocas and check out the Archmere and Friends game as much as I can. I got to head over to Abyssinia. Speaking of big games, St. Benedict's Prep Soccer coming in.
Right.
Ranked number 1, number 2, depending on which ranking you look at. All I can say is they're really good. So we're going to have that one for you Saturday at 5:30 on Delaware Live. But Albocas and Abyssinia are literally down the street from each other, so it's an easy trip.
All right,
but that is a big one.
Some single A big matchups coming up this weekend. Laurel hosts Polytech. Seaford's at Indian River. 2 unbeatens, Wilmington Charter at St. Andrews Saturday, battle the unbeatens in Middletown, Delaware. All right, guys, that concludes our football talk. But when we come back, we'll have a handful of challenges. We'll take a look at that and the top 10 plays of the week and closing thoughts. We'll do that after this on Delaware Weekly Live here from Dover, Buffalo Wild Wings.
Hi, I'm Scott Kammerer from Solo Concepts. Today we're at Lupo Italian Kitchen in downtown Rehoboth Beach. Come check us out. Located inside the Hotel Rehoboth, Lupo serves coastal Italian cuisine with fresh pasta made in-house daily. Lupo features plenty of unique craft cocktails and an extensive award-winning all-Italian wine list. Popular dishes include lobster bucatini, veal meatballs, grilled swordfish, and eggplant parmesan. Lupo Italian Kitchen on Rehoboth Avenue, serving happy hour daily and dinner 7 days a week. See you.
What you need with Ambience. Ambience provides you with over 25 years of experience in the heating, cooling, and plumbing industry. The team at Ambience Heating and Air Conditioning provides high-quality residential HVAC installations, maintenance, and repairs in new and older homes in the Delaware, Maryland, Pennsylvania tri-state area. You may not realize it, but half of your energy costs go to heating and cooling. Make sure your energy dollars count and call us today for a free estimate. 302-239-HVAC. 302-239-48.
At Ferris Home Improvements, your family's comfort and safety is always our top priority.
If you call us for your roofing, windows and doors, siding, decks, kitchen, and bathroom needs, you can expect health-screened craftsmen who wear gloves and face masks and follow minimum 6-foot distancing, virtual conferences to discuss project details, job quotes delivered electronically or brought to your door for your review and approval, and our showrooms in Newark and Rehoboth Beach remain open for limited appointments.
We're here together.
Operating with precautions.
To protect our staff.
And our customers.
And welcome back to Delaware Sports Live Weekly. Benny Mitchell, with Glenn Frazier and Mike Lang. Time for our pick segment. As your defending champ, I'll go ahead and let the standings know where they're at. As you know, we pick a handful of games each week. So far, I'm back in the lead, 116 points, followed by Glenn in second place with 98, Pat with 95, Nick with 90, Jason with 88, and Mike is in the basement with 87 points. That's kind of where you ended up last 2 years ago, wasn't it?
It's like when I used to play fantasy football. It's the exact same thing, yeah.
All right, so we're going to just go through a couple of our picks. Mike, we'll let you go first. What are 2 of your games you're picking out of the 5 this week?
All right, so my football upset and is one that it's proved to be pretty popular, Sussex Central. I like them at home over Smyrna, the real tough defense. They snuck by them last year. I may eat some crow, but that's where I'm going. And I'm going to go with my soccer pick. It's a Middletown battle. I'm taking St. George's, number 7 St. George's over number 2 Appoquinimink, 3-2. He's not ranked number 7, 3-2. Just because I like St. George's and my neighbor up the street coaches them, and I do like the Hawks soccer team, so I like them.
Glenn?
Okay, let's start with a football game. How about the Odessa Ducks? They got their first ever win last week.
My upset special last week.
Let's say they're going to get win number 2 this weekend, and I got them shutting out ECHS 32-0. I also have for my upset special Central beating Smyrna 24-22. Now, usually I'm the kiss of death with these things,
right.
So Smyrna fans, don't take heart, okay? I'm just a lonely guy here making picks.
Now, Trey will tell you, I have a policy about picking against Sussex Central in the Castle. Don't pick against Sussex Central in the Castle. But Mike Judy is 3-1 in the Castle, so maybe not be a bad pick. Jason's upset special, the trifecta. He's going Sussex Central 35 and Smyrna 31. So he's still got some points going up on the board. And then in the big double or the single A game, he's at St. Andrews 22, Wilmington Charter 21.
Okay.
So for me, I'm going to go with my upset special is going to be St. Andrews 21, Wilmington Charter 20.
Okay.
So we're kind of close on that. And I'm going to go soccer, top 10 game, number 3 Caesar Rodney to beat Sussex Central at number 5, 3-1 in soccer.
Now, you notice he stayed away from the Sussex Central Smyrna game.
I'll do that tomorrow night.
Well, he's calling the game, right?
I'm calling the game, yeah.
Well, before we move on, let's recognize some top performers from last week. How about number 1, Macy Bradford from Delmar? 9 goals and 4 assists versus Seaford, Milford, and Pocomoke City. Number 2, Westcott from Woodbridge. 2 defensive touchdowns in the game versus Sussex Tech. You're going to see that coming up. A 37-yard fumble return and a 27-yard pick 6. Number 3, Jordan Holloman from Delmar. 5 goals and 3 assists last week in those 3 games we already mentioned. And how about Chris Albero from Archmere Academy? 247 yards passing, 4 touchdowns, and a big 42-8 win over Howe.
And now it's time for our top plays for this week, brought to you by BSN. And hold on, let me get them up for you. Alexander on the jump ball, and somebody gets mossed here, and I don't know if that's Mike Lang or Jason running away with the camera.
I was on the camera,
okay.
so it was Jason.
All right. Let's go to number 9, Glenn.
Yeah, this one to soccer. The big goal by Salesianum's Noah Holgado, and that was against Apo. That was a big game of 1 versus 2.
And our number 8 play of the week, back to volleyball. It's paddleball volleyball in Smyrna, and look at this great point save for the Pandas coming up now. There you go, great point save by the paddleball Pandas. Number 7, Glenn.
Number 7, we'll go back to that Apo-Salesian matchup in soccer. This is a free kick goal made good by Thomas Hastings of the Jaguars.
And on to our number 6 play of the week. It's going to be soccer again. And Salesian's Brandon Ibarra Sanchez and Zach Bittner with great saves here in the, I believe this was the Apo game, the Salesianum Apo game. Sanchez and Bittner, yeah, a lot of highlights in that game. And now to number 5. Couple plays
just
here.
Waiting for our ace production man to bring it up, and here it is. This is a touchdown by St. Mark's Padalano to Burns, just shredding defenders on his way to the end zone.
That's circle button stuff there.
Yeah, that was the first one. And then the next one coming up is Salesianum, quarterback Campbell to Portali. And again, just making a good move on his way to the end zone in that ball game. That's number 5. Coming up next, one from a game that I did last week.
Smyrna and C's Rodney game. This is Cameron Edge to Ymir Knight. 63-yard, good move down the field, and the block by Devin Smith. We're going to see a lot of Knights as the Golden Knights take on the Knight Brothers on Friday night down at Sussex Central. Let's move to the number 3 play. And, man, usually you don't get one defensive touchdown. Talk about this one, Lexington Westcott.
Yeah. Woodbridge, 2 defensive touchdowns by Westcott. 1 of fumble recoveries, we mentioned a little bit earlier in the last segment, 27 yards, and then the pick 6. Westcott's been doing a lot of this. He's been playing some really good defense for the Blue Raiders.
And yes, he is the last of the Westcott brothers. So on to our number 2 play. Friends pass by Reese Rademacher and header by Alessio Christian. Wow.
Yeah, I should have took that one.
Yeah, really, you're better with names. But long pass and the header here for the goal.
Pass. Great play. Alessio Cristiani Walker. That was such a long pass, and he just bent it right in there. And then our number 1 top play, again from that Smyrna Cesar Rodney game last week, Wayne Knight, 18 yards on 2 consecutive carries. He finished it with his 51-yard touchdown run to pay dirt. And those are our top 10 highlights from last week's action.
So final thoughts, Mike, we'll start with you.
2 real quick ones. Middletown last week against Apo won their 30th consecutive home game, the longest active streak in the state. They're going to be put to the test when St. Joe's comes in next week, but congratulations, Cavaliers. And number 2, during that Archmere game, Howard's Demir Hollingsworth collapsed on the field. They had to bring out the ambulance. It was a heat-related issue, but we hope Demir's doing well. I know it was a tough day for the Wildcats on the field, and with Hollingsworth being injured, seeing an ambulance come out, and trainers everywhere, and a uniform being cut off. But Demir, we hope you're doing well, and we'll see you back on the field soon.
My final thoughts, well, you know that Middletown game that you alluded to. By the way, in that time period, they've only lost 2 regular season games. The other one was to Hodson, I think the 2019 season.
Oh, and Hodson
they lost to Hodson
right?
twice. Regular season and championship. So they've only lost 2 regular season games in that span. That's pretty fantastic.
And coming up Friday night, we have the Smyrna Eagles and the Sussex Central Golden Knights. And Glenn, we talked about the 7-7 split in the regular season. We talked about since they've been in Division I, Sussex Central leading the series 8-7. But what we didn't talk about is the state title has gone through one of those 2 programs 5 of the last 6 years.
Yeah, Hodson was the other one.
And Hodson was the other one. So of the last 6 years, 3 Smyrna state titles, 2 Sussex Central state titles. Folks, this is a big game. Smyrna, can they bounce back from the Middletown loss? Sussex Central had the week off. After 2 weeks ago, the blowout by Salesianum. These 2 teams coming in a game that means a lot. It means number 1 in District 2 and AAA. Don't forget, you can find out more of our news and updates on the website every day. Please visit DelawareLiveSports.com. Be sure to join our website and stay up to date on Delaware sports. All of our rankings of the other sports, field hockey, volleyball, soccer, cross country, are on there. Thanks everybody for tuning in tonight. We'd also like to give thanks to the participants of the schools tonight, Dover and Caesar Rodney, and their coaches, ADs, and students. This show, we wouldn't have it without you folks, without your participation. I'd also like to give a special thanks to our sponsor, Buffalo Wild Wings, and all of our sponsors during the shows and the games and those commercials. And folks, when you see those people sponsoring our games, please patronize them and let them know where you saw it. You saw it on Delaware Live Sports. For Glenn Frazier, Nick Halliday, Mike Lang, I'm Benny Mitchell. Folks, have a good night. We'll be seeing you Friday night.